to.
Bro, that's true.
He read to me.
No, you're completely right. And what's even scarier is I find, I talk often about how masculinity is under attack and how they're damaging our innate masculine instincts. And one of the largest innate masculine instincts is protectiveness, and also to a degree, disagreeableness. If you're truly masculine, you're protective. And I think as an extension of that, you're disagreeable. I'll talk about me as a person. If somebody comes into me with a brand new idea, which conflicts with mine, they can explain it to me, and perhaps over time I'll adapt to it. But my instant reaction is no. No. Who are you? Why are you here? That's my instant reaction. And I think that's the masculine instinct. That's why men are protective. It's why we're tribal, right? If a different tribe member arrived at your tribe, you'd be like, who are you? Bro, don't come near my chicks. Get away from my tent. That's how we evolved for the longest period of human history. And I look at now how masculinity is in decline. And when you have no innate physical capability to defend yourself, you're much more likely to subdue and effectively cucked power structures. And when you talk about things like this with the robot, I see a generation of future men with basically no testosterone level who just fall in love with these robot machines. And they don't see the danger in it because they're ostriches. They don't want to see the danger, because if they see the danger, they have to fight. And they don't want to fight because they can't. So instead, they're going to pretend there's no danger, and they're going to worship instead. You see this now with liberals. Liberals worship government. They worship government like it's God because, oh, government, please protect us, please save us, because they're cowards and they're weak. So they worship government and think it's a good thing. And that's certainly coming for the AI machine. The worst thing about the destruction of the human race at the hands of AI is that there's going to be a huge percentage of the population begging for it.
Yeah.
Begging for it. The same men now who beg girls on OnlyFans to ignore them, who will send a girl money and say, please don't reply, ignore me, and enjoy it. The same people now who beg for the government to take their money off of them to stop the sun from being hot. These are the same people who are going to be begging the AI machines to control every aspect of their life. You're going to see future fetishes where a man is going to be the robot for the robot. I'll do the dishes. Please, R2-D2. I'll do your dishes. I love you. That's what's going to come because the human race is so fucked. The only solution to this is innate masculinity because God created us with it to protect. That's why God created masculinity, to protect ourselves and others. But it's disappearing. So I'm telling you, the future of AI is more scary than most realize. You could sit down in 50 years from now with people, you could get the whole world in a concert hall and say, AI is going to destroy all of us. We have to get rid of it. And there's going to be someone at the back who goes, but she strokes my pee-pee anytime I want. And he's going to just selfishly accept the annihilation of the human race for his sexual gratification, or because she's his friend, like you said, or because she raised him, because he's not man enough to say, no, we have to protect first. And all of that's disappeared from society now. Protect first has kind of vanished, and we're left in this insane quagmire of different ideals constantly competing. You can apply this to something else. We just talked about AI. Let's apply it to something far more simple. The border crisis. A man thinks, I don't know who these people are. I'm sure some of them are good, but one of them might be bad. Yeah. And if one of them is bad, none of them should come. Because if you gave me a box of Cheerios and told me one Cheerio was poisoned, I wouldn't eat from the box of Cheerios because I'm not an idiot. Women will use an emotional argument. Well, most of them need help. Most of them need to be saved, and we can save them all, which is asinine and incorrect anyway, but that's the emotional argument. And weak men, even worse, will pretend there's no danger at all, because if they accept there's danger, they now need to be brave. And what's the one thing a coward never wants to be? Brave. So a weak man will sit there and say, oh, they're not criminals. How do you know they're criminals? There's already criminals here. You're a criminal. You're homophobic. You're racist. They just want a better life. And they'll ignore the problem so they don't have to ever look in the mirror and realize they're a pussy. They'll do anything to cope their way out of having to be brave and be protective. And then we end up in the situation we're in. If men were still raised with the innate masculine responsibility to protect and provide, we'd be a lot more careful about everything, not just the border, but AI, because it's very obvious where it's all going to go.
Yeah.
And it's not just robots as you imagine robots walking around. I'm sure that'll actually be the cool part of AI. There's actually a far more dystopian, less interesting, and more scary version of AI, which is where we're almost at. Facial recognition cameras on every single corner, 15-minute CEs, electric cars, which can turn off if you try and drive into the wrong area. That's why they want everyone to go electric. Nothing to do with the environment. That's bullshit. So they can turn your car off. That's why they want you to have an electric car. If I get in my Ferrari, you can't turn it off. You got to chase me down, sir. Good luck, police. You got to catch me. I'm good. But if you're an electric car, they just say, what's his serial number? Boop, turn off the car, keep the doors locked. He was wrong thinking. Facial recognition on every corner, like I said. 15-minute cities, like I said. They'll control your money. They'll control where you go. They'll control if you can fly or not. They'll control your food. The AI is going to be a little camera in the corner linked to your mobile phone and your national ID from the digital system. And you're not even going to see a cool robot. And AI is already going to wreck your life. You don't even get a hand job from a robot. You don't get anything. It's bullshit. That's where AI is going before the cool robots come. Bro, there are no AI hand jobs coming. It's just dystopian. Yeah. It's just dystopian insanity. That's where we're going to end up. And as the matrix cracks and they try and rebuild this new system, unless we're very clear to people about the truth of things, we're going to end up far worse than we ever were before. Far worse.
I'm still thinking about this idea
AI hand jobs?
No, of a man walking next to a robot carrying the robot's purse.
Bro, 100%. Bro, these dudes are going to be fully cucked for these fucking things. I've seen dudes fully cucked for chicks, which really ain't worth that much. So if you're telling me you're going to give him an obedient virgin, effectively, which he buys out the box, bro, he's going to be on his knees every night begging, please don't leave me. You're going to have robots programmed to be one step out the door so the man can spend his life begging to keep her there because he's going to love it. The future is so fucked. I don't think people realize, and it can all be fixed if men were men, but they're deliberately attacking that. And they're attacking it for the reason I said earlier. Men are protective. And if you want to damage a society, you have to remove the protectors of society. We used to walk in, the Romans would turn up to the Greeks and kill all the military age males. So now what do? They can't kill us all. So they try and neuter our minds and neuter our innate masculine tendencies. If you're a man, you're toxic. You're toxically masculine. If you're a man, in any regard, you're toxic. If you say to your wife, don't go out drinking with all those other men who I don't know. You're my wife. Stay home. You don't go drinking with men because we're in love and we're married. You're controlling and you're toxically masculine. You're a bad person. How does that even, how can society even function under that premise? How do you even have a wife? How do you have a marriage? How do you have anything? Nothing even makes sense anymore.